New moon in Taurus. If you don't already know me, my name is Tara All. I am resident astrologer here at Sage Goddess, and I am passionate about all kinds of metaphysics, but especially astrology. And today late yesterday I decided that I was going to write horoscopes for this new moon in Taurus, so I'm excited to share that with you. But before I get to that, I just want to talk about new moon in Taurus in general. So this particular new moon was exact at 8:53 a.m. Pacific time. So we are like really at this perfect intention setting time. New moons are always about new beginnings. Up in the sky, new moon is when the sun and moon come together in what we call a conjunction. And it's like the seed point for the cycle, right? Where we get it going, where we get things moving. Good morning, everyone, or whatever time or space it is, wherever you are in your own zone. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. This particular new moon feels really good to me, feels good in my body, even though, and of course it's Taurus, which makes sense, which is an earthy body sign. But yeah, okay, so let me get back to what I was saying. New moons. New moon, when the sun and moon come together in the sky, it's a seed point or the initiation of the whole cycle. You can think of it in some ways as the sun is infusing the moon with its light and with its energy. And in this case, because they're both in the sign Taurus, it is the Taurian type energy that is infusing in, right? And so Taurus, some keywords for Taurus is grounded and sensual and practical. There's an element of beauty with Taurus, of comfort, of resources, right? Money and abundance, wealth. So this new moon, is an invitation to set new intentions around your relationship with money, around resources, what you value. But also I'm looking at it as a time to have a new relationship with your body and to tap into the intelligence of your body and to actually be embodied. Some of us who are really into the spiritual work, we tend to like me, be up in the more spirit or mental realms. And Taurus is a reminder and an invitation that our human body is, our number one tool in this lifetime. So being in it, feeling it, even asking it. Like I was thinking about this yesterday a little bit, right? Asking my body, right? What does it have to share with me? What does it have to show me? Leaning into that energy. Taurus is very much linked with feeling. Different than how Cancer is feeling. Cancer feeling is more emotion, right? Which is a whole different conversation. Taurus is like just the instinctual, naturally arising feeling that comes in the body. Okay, so, and then I also want to mention that we have new moon ritual tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So she'll be joining Athena. She does such a beautiful job with new moon ritual and ceremony. So this is a big one tonight as far as setting wishes, intentions, and opening yourself up to all kinds of abundance, right? Not just money, not just cash flow, but really what we consider treasures and riches that at the deepest level really bring us value, meaning, and purpose, which is so much what Taurus is about. Okay, let's see. I'm checking in on the feed. Oh, Lori's saying my body hurts. Yeah, our bodies, it gets our attention oftentimes through things that are uncomfortable or through the pain. Yeah, it's not easy, but that oftentimes that is a way of getting our attention. Yeah. Anybody else feeling anything in particular with this new moon energy? Oh, I didn't mention this, but new moon, no matter what sign the new moon is in, the new moon phase always has Aries energy. So it's always this fiery sort of impulse, this spontaneous drive to step out into life, right? Doesn't matter what sign the new moon is in, it always has that energy because Aries is the beginning, right? It gets things going, just like new moons get things going. So if you were personally born in the new moon phase, like I was, this is your moon phase birthday. It's your lunation birthday. And it's a time to celebrate that approach of really stepping out and going for it and acting on things you're excited about. New moon is not about knowing how things are going to turn out. You don't need to know how it's going to turn out with new moon. With new moon, you just need to get it going. You need to try. Step out. And new moon also is linked with the light in it more in the darkness, right? Because during new moon, right, we can't really see much of the moon at all. Now we can start to see like a little sliver, and sometimes you can sort of see it, you can tell it's there, but it's not bright, right? There's not enough space between the sun and the moon for there to be a reflection so that we can really see it. So there's more about needing to turn into the light inside that guides us externally, which is why there's more of that intuitive, instinctual energy that comes up with that. Yeah. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. So without further ado, well, I guess there will be a little holding back for a second. Athena always calls new moons in Taurus money moons. So again, it's a money moon. But I encourage you, and then with myself, I'm encouraging myself to really tap into not just money, but again, what are my riches? What are my treasures? What do I treasure? How much do I treasure it? And is it really bringing me the security or the stability or the comfort? Is it really bringing me the things I want in life? It's a good time to check in, right? Taurus is a great sign to help you make decisions about what really will get you where you want or need to be. So let's jump into the horoscopes. So with horoscopes, you can apply or read them for both your sun and your rising sign. I always read both for myself. So if you are Aries or Aries rising, the new moon will fall in your second house. And so it's about the money, honey. Where do you spend yours? Do you save? Is it making a return? Is it bringing you interest? You can make more, and you can also do more with what you already have. And also love and listen to your body. Ask for and receive its advice. Taurus, if you're Taurus sun or Taurus rising, the new moon will be in your first house, the most personal place of self-identity, right? Your own physicality. Invest in yourself. What do you want? Don't tell me why you can't have it or why you can't afford it. Give it a real try and find out. All right, Gemini sun, Gemini rising, new moon for you will fall in the 12th house. So I'm saying, is it time for a retreat? Get away and reconnect with your spirit. Sometimes all it takes to shift everything is a place and a space to recover and rediscover. And Gemini, it's like a kid in a candy shop. So give yourself a space to rediscover what actually is there, right? Those treats or those sweets or those treasures. All right, Cancer. If you're Cancer sun or Cancer rising, new moon will be in your 11th house. Learn something new with technology, even if you hate it, right? Even if you hate that stuff, picking up a new trick will pay off either in time or money. Maybe you just need to update your phone so you can use those new emojis. Don't make it complicated, but there's something about technology for you. So yeah, don't miss that opportunity. Leo sun or Leo rising. New moon will be in your 10th house, right? House of public image, career, reputation. You are worth more than you think out there in the world. You don't have to call it a career, but that thing that you do for everyone, maybe without even knowing it, it's worth a medal. So honor that today. Observe and lean into that today. And honestly, these horoscopes and this new moon, these things that we're initiating, it carries us through all the way to the full moon, right? So you're not just working with it today. This gets you going, right, to build and to grow into the cycle. Now, Virgo. If you're Virgo sun, Virgo rising, the new moon will be in your 9th house. Make a decision to go somewhere or do something different. What you need is a new view. Then you can come back and recommit to what you really want. All right, Libra, Libra sun, Libra rising, new moon will be in your 8th house. Are you in or are you out? It might be time to get off the fence and then to honor whichever side you land on. The point is to put your weight down because it gets exhausting holding yourself up in the air. Scorpio. Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising. New moon will be in your 7th house. Indulge in something luxurious and do it with someone who will enjoy it even more than you do. Right now, the seed point, the initiation in this cycle, pleasure really pays off, right? So find yours, explore yours, and not alone, right? You can be alone, that's fine, but the invitation here is with somebody or with something else. Sagittarius. Sagittarius sun or Sagittarius rising. New moon will be in your 6th house. House of service, health, self-improvement. Do something that makes you a better you. You might have to take some to-dos off your list to make room for it. That's even better. So, the first thing I think of here is mental health day, right? Do you need a break? Do you need time to get to that better place with you? Yeah, it's worth it. You're worth it. That's the message for Sagittarius. Capricorn. Capricorn sun, Capricorn rising. The new moon will be in your 5th house. And the 5th house is the house of pleasure. It's the things we enjoy. It's romance. It's hobbies. We sometimes call it even the party house. So Capricorn, your job for this new moon is to enjoy yourself. Take a break from all the stuff you think you should do. Just because you can do it and just because you're good at doing it doesn't mean you're meant to do it. All right, Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising. New moon is in your 4th house. Are you comfortable at home? It might be time to get rid of some stuff that you don't want, or to add something that you do want there. Keep in mind, the stuff could be anything, a person or a thing. How do who and what's in your space define or confine you? Yeah. All right, that takes us to the 12th sign, Pisces. Pisces sun, Pisces rising. New moon is in your 3rd house. Less is more now, especially when it comes to all the things you're juggling in your head. You don't have to tune in to everything up there. Just let it run. Focus is your friend. The energetic waves may tempt you to jump, but stay in the boat. All right, so that's it for horoscopes for the new moon in Taurus. I'm going to do an extra bonus thing just for this live here, and that is for each sign. I'm going to go back through. Lots of you know that I love working with the astrological dice, right? Astrological dice. One has planets, one has all the signs, and one has all the houses. These in particular are lapis, that's the stone. We have these at Sage Goddess. I think they're still in stock. Karen can check. I've had mine for a long time. We have sunstone ones as well that I also work with. But what I'm going to do today is instead of rolling all 3, I'm just going to pull out the planet dice or die. And planets represent archetypes, right? Parts of ourselves. It's like the players in a script, right? Or the actors in a movie. It's the who we are and the different versions of the who we are. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it for each sign as a little added bonus for these new moon and Taurus horoscopes for today, Friday, May 19th, 2023. And this is going to give us an archetype, a planet archetype that each sign can work with to really lean into this new moon intentional energy. So let's go for Aries first. Who's the planet archetype for Aries? Aries, you get the moon. And the moon is about caring and healing. It is about emotion. It is about honoring the inner world. The moon is linked with all the caring and healing professions. The moon is also linked with mystery and creativity. So there can be also a very artistic side. There can be a dreamy element to the moon. But if you're Aries, and as you're, feeling into this new moon and setting your intentions, that part of you, that archetype of the moon will help you on that path. So, just feel, trust your hunches. Thinking about not just self-care, but how you nurture and grow things in life around you. How you provide that safe home space, not just physically, but anywhere you are, and having that emotional comfortability, right? That I can sit and hang out with you and I can feel at home, right? That's Cancer. It's very receptive, very yin, feminine energy. Again, not female, everybody has a moon, but it is that receptive energy. All right, so Taurus. Taurus gets Venus, which is so beautiful because Venus rules Taurus. So it is really, if you're a Taurus, and again, you can apply this whether it's your Taurus sun or Taurus rising. And honestly, with horoscopes and astrology energy, we all have all the signs and planets and houses. So anywhere it resonates with you, I say pick it up and take it. Yeah, you guys, I see the chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here with me. I'm not kidding when I say new moon is my favorite. I mean, full moon is beautiful, but new moon is it really is my time and my jam. So it's a delight to share it with you guys here. So back to Taurus. What does it mean to tap into the archetype Venus? Venus meaning the lover, the artist, right? Beauty. There is charm there. And again, this is interesting because right out the gate, we've got moon first and now we have Venus. Both the moon and Venus are yin, receptive, feminine archetypes. They're about receiving. And Venus in particular, it's about creating the environment. Athena and I talked about this in a class recently. It's about creating the environment within yourself to attract what you want. So if you think of yourself literally like a garden, if you want to attract butterflies, what type of plants do you put in your garden? What types of features do you add in that garden? You can think about that with Taurus in yourself, right? What in you will draw that thing that you desire? Now, Venus is also about relationships and about connecting and about harmony, right? So this could simply be getting together with friends, right? Spending time with your partner or someone you care about. Doing the things that you love and that you like, that's Venus. Practicing your art, whatever that art is, right? There's the art of relationships, there's the art of cooking, it goes on and it's not just about a painting on the wall. All right, so if you're Gemini, your planet archetype is, the North Node. So the North Lunar Node, or the North Node of the moon, is about Dharma, destiny. It's about it's about really creating your future self now. So with Gemini, it's interesting, with the horoscope, I talked about getting away and reconnecting with your spirit. To have the North Node as your archetype, it really is stepping into how you want to experience you in new ways, in new expansive ways in this lifetime. So I would say, it's follow your Dharma, follow your destiny. I sometimes, people that come to see me as clients, they hear me read this Pema Chodron quote, which I will not be able to do here without it being written on my wall like it is at my home. But she talks about Dharma, meaning that Dharma is not some lofty spiritual concept. She says, and this is really a paraphrase, and probably not doing a great job of it, so just apologies in advance. She says, Dharma is a way to cook yourself. It's how to soften the toughest pieces of meat and to find out who you really are. So when you choose your North Node, it's choosing to try things differently, inside, outside, all the way around. Yeah, it's in some ways choosing what feels foreign or what feels unknown so that you can come to a new place within yourself. All right, Cancer. Let's see what Cancer. I'm a Cancer, so I'm paying attention. South Node. Interesting. So, where the North Node is path of Dharma, destiny, moving forward into a new evolutionary sense of yourself, the South Node is really tapping into past life gifts and talents. So what this says to all of us Cancers, and Cancer, Cancer Rising, Cancer Sun, this new moon in part is, don't be too quick to move on to something else. Get the gems and get the treasures and get the value from the things that you have already done, the gifts you have already developed. And this could even be asking us to tap into some of those past life experiences so we can remember things, right? Cancer as a sign is linked with memory. So this could be going back and remembering, oh, this is something in my old patterning, old habits, old sense of self, and it is actually helpful and applies today. Okay, cool. Leo. Leo gets the moon as well, so the moon is really coming forward today. Well, we already talked about that before, but I'll just recap briefly. Right, the moon, right, our inner emotional sense of self. It is about nurturing and helping and healing and growing things. It is about tuning into intuition, and it is trusting hunches. The moon is about feeling, and it's about receiving. And also about feeding and food, right? And not just physical food, although that can be part of it, but all the things that feed us, that feed our heart and feed our soul. But for any of these signs that are getting the moon, that checking in on the inner world, right? Am I comfortable? Am I at home? Am I tuned in with my heart? Because if we've been overly identified kind of with the mental stuff and, or with the overly practical stuff, the moon brings us back and say, wait a second, where is the heart in this? Right? And how is it actually feeding or growing me and life around me? And remember, the moon is also linked with artists and art and creativity. So that's always is there with the moon as well. It's very whimsical, right? There's a romantic energy with the moon. Yeah. And a little bit of mystery. It likes mystery. Because the moon is the light in the dark. It's not about the bright sunlight. It's about the things that come out of the shadows when the light when the light shifts and changes. All right, Virgo, let's see what your planet is. Oh, moon again. We can't get away from the moon. Well, I'm not going to repeat it, Virgo. You got that same. We have 3 signs now with the moon. Karen, I don't know if you were keeping track of this. I've not been writing them down. But that's 3 for the moon. Moon is like making itself known today. Some of you have heard me say this, but I'm going to bring it up again since we now have 3 signs with the moon as the archetype to bring out. Moon also takes us back to our roots, right? Our ultimate connection all the way through lineage, right? Beyond any of that sort of human stuff and right into the goddess herself or source. That is also part of the moon. Where are my roots? And so I think this can be a good time to feel into that energy, especially with a new moon in Taurus, which is about, Taurus is about anchoring, securing, and rooting things so they can grow strong. And the moon encourages us to get back to that core center place. Yeah. No, I know, Elizabeth, I'm with you. I'm just happy to see the moon is keeping on coming through. All right, Libra. Libra, your planet archetype. Ooh, Uranus. That's exciting, Libra. You have the planet of authenticity, liberation, rebellion, innovation. The literally, someone was saying to me recently, I think it was Celeste Brooks when I was on her show. She's a fabulous astrologer, by the way. She does a lot of cool stuff on Instagram. But she was talking about all the words that start with go with Uranus, right? Unhinged, unfettered, unconditional, right? It is in some ways undoing and releasing so that we can be more authentic and we can progress and move forward. So Libra, big changes, man. In the Tarot, Uranus is linked with the Fool, right? It's having faith and trust that you can step off in a new direction and try something new and be a little bit comfortable, up in the air before you land. Yeah, freedom. Freeing your mind, freeing your body, all of these things are Uranus type energy. All right, Scorpio, let's see what you get. Scorpio gets the sun. Here comes the sun. So The sun as an archetype, right, it needs to shine. There's a certain level of the leader or performer in the sun, right? The sun likes to put its best face forward. It's about radiating energy and coming from the center. So the sun it motivates and it draws things to it. It warms things up. It shines a bright light on things. So Scorpio, there is something with about being bright, letting the light in, letting the light radiate. Yeah, which is very beautiful. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what you get. I need a little more room to roll the die. All right. Sagittarius gets Venus, so we have another Venus repeat, right? So Venus, relationships, cooperation, beauty, art, aesthetics, alignment, connections, comfort, what we like, what we love, creating the environment to receive. I talked about this earlier, so I'm kind of just retapping. Venus is also about yummy, right? What's yummy? What feels good and looks good? Yeah. I sometimes joke that Venus doesn't want to wear pants that are too tight, and it doesn't want to have things on that don't look just right. It wants to be comfortable, and there needs to be an easefulness. Venus doesn't want things to be difficult. In mythology, back to the receptivity of Venus, in mythology, Venus would recline back, on her velvet lounger, and her lovers would just line up to come to her. She didn't push out to get them. Again, she cultivated the space in herself and around her that drew things to her. And, she was able to tame Mars, the warrior spirit, with that love and that beauty. And that's something you can bring out into your life as well. All right, Capricorn. Yeah. I hope it is your lucky day. Undaunted, which is a good screen name. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, more Venus. Venus and the moon today, taking the show. The feminine yin receptive energies are like, you know what? Life doesn't have to be that hard, which is so fitting because remember, Venus rules Taurus. It rules the sign the new moon is in today, right? So let me, I've talked about Venus already some, so let me just mention that it is not about things being difficult, right? It's about things, yes, you put in the work when you need to, but there's a certain level of simplicity, right? It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be overly dramatic, don't have to push too hard in directions that don't work. You find the groove, you attract what it is that you want and what you need, and you let the flow come. You be open to the flow, right? But it's a tricky thing with Venus and also with Taurus, the sign that the new moon is in, that oftentimes we are not open to receive our blessings. It's almost like we don't want them. Think about compliments, right? When someone tells you you're beautiful or you're smart or you've done something well, oftentimes the very first thing we say is, oh, no, or no, I'm not, right? We're not very comfortable receiving blessings or compliments. And Venus reminds us to do both. So there we go, Capricorn. And it's just great because the Capricorn horoscope was your job for this new moon is to enjoy yourself. And then you get Venus, the planet of enjoyment and pleasure and choosing what you like and who you like. Okay, Aquarius, let's see. Karen, if I missed someone, you will let me know, right? I hope I didn't. Aquarius, woohoo, Pluto. Aquarius gets Pluto. So now, man, we go from like lighthearted Venus to like Pluto, Lord of the underworld, which is about digging deep. Pluto is about transformation. It is about literally unearthing things so that you can transform and let go of what's not needed and step into a new level of empowerment. I was just reading something recently about Pluto and how Pluto is linked with riches under the earth, like oil, for example, right? Or mining for gemstones is a very Pluto thing. So if you're Aquarius, Sun, Aquarius rising, or Aquarius resonates with you in any kind of way right now, going deep and transforming, digging down to find the treasure so you can bring it out, and then being willing to let go, of those old habits or those old burdens or those old any old stuff that you're emotionally attached to that keeps you out of your power, right? That keeps you in a place of not fully being alive, of not fully shifting, evolving, and metamorphosing. I feel like I always say that word wrong, but butterflying into the more true sense of self, because Pluto, it hits us at the deep core soul level, but it always demands something has to die with Pluto. Something has to die so that something can be reborn. But I always say that thing that has to die, it's really already dead anyway, and we just carry around the dead weight. All right. Oh, there's another Tara here. Do you pronounce it like Tara as well? That's awesome. I'm actually, these days, if I get called Tara, I don't mind, because I so resonate with goddess Tara as well. Yeah. Tara, or Tara in Hindi, means star, and which is very sweet to me, because my parents, very conservative Christians, so astrology was not their thing, but it gives me great pleasure that they actually named me after, at least where in some places the name means star, because it's very fitting with what I do. Yeah. Ah, Karen, you're very sweet. I like to think that those of us who work with astrology and work with the planets and the stars, that, it's a language and it's communication, right? We're having conversations with those places and those things are showing up in us. So that is one of my favorite things about the work, if you can even call it work, that I do. Yeah. All right, Pisces. We can't forget Pisces. Pisces needs a planet, needs an archetype. Pluto again. This is not a joke. So Aquarius and Pisces, both of you are this deep transformative work. Letting something go. Getting ready to move into something more. Even confronting. I can say a couple more things about Pluto since it showed itself twice here. That archetype is, you can think of it as the overlord. That can sound scary, but when Pluto comes up for you in this context, asking yourself the question, who really is holding the power in myself, in my life, right? And who should be? And how does that need to change, right? Because Pluto can feel like we are stuck or powerless or even manipulated. And that's because we're not fully standing into our power. So Pluto is that invitation, right? To get back to the core and get realigned, right? Not just with the ego stuff. And there's nothing wrong with the ego, right? We wouldn't have a separate self in this lifetime without it. So it's a part of what we are. But Pluto says, wait a second, there's a deeper level of willpower and of intention in myself that isn't just connected to this lifetime. It's connected to all my lifetimes that converge into one, right? The past and the future converge in the present. And through that Pluto archetype in myself, I can come out as more truthfully what I am. Pluto, by the way, also wants the truth, right? It wants to confront things stuffed under the bed or in the closet, to confront and get to the truth of what is really underneath, even if it's icky, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable. Because what Pluto wants is to not let those old things, things you keep in the closet, metaphorically or physically, we tend to make up stories about them, and then they become big looming shadows. And Pluto as an archetype is linked with shadow. So it's about putting some light on that so you can see what's really there and have a new relationship with it. So if you're Aquarius or Pisces, you may have a little shadow work to do. It's awesome. It's not a problem. But it will help you bring light to those areas. And I promise you that what you think is shadow, or what you think is a certain type of monster, is going to look really different from a different view, in a different light. And when you come from a place of loving that energy, no matter what it is, it can transform, right? It can transform into a whole new creature. All right. You guys, thank you so much for being here with me. Does anybody have any last minute, questions? I can look really quickly. Undaunted cleaned out all the clutter in the house and the closet, so that's it. Yep, you're doing it. And clearing the clutter. It's interesting because Taurus, we're talking about Taurus here at Sage Goddess in general, that Taurus, it is quality over quantity, but Taurus also has a tendency to hoard or hold on to things. So it's this interesting balance between what do we let go of to actually make space for the things that are important, and then really looking at what we do hold or hoard or cling to, and is it really keeping us secure, right? Is it really making us comfortable, or is that just kind of a false illusion that it is, when in fact, we're ready to kind of let some of those things go, which is not easy. Yeah. How does this affect Leos? Well, we already read the Leo horoscope. We already read the archetype for Leo. Essentially, all of us are dealing with the collective energy. I can tell you this, and this is a little bit more advanced here, that Leo, the sign, forms a square, a 90-degree angle with Taurus, the new moon. So there can be a challenge for Leos, for example, in this new moon. This kind of struggle back and forth between what do I really want, what do I really need. See, Leo likes to be self-gratifying, and it really sometimes doesn't mind how much it spends or what it has to do to have what it wants. And Taurus is like, well, wait a second, is it really worth it? Is it really worth the money? Is it really bringing value, meaning, and purpose? Yeah. So, that can be one area that it can affect in there. Yeah. Okay, cool, you guys. All right, well, I think Karen's already put it in here, but if you love astrology and you want to hang out with me more, Athena and I co-teach Living Astrology. That's part of the Living Magic program. We'd love to have you be part of our community. And otherwise, I will be back soon. Happy new moon. Love you guys. I wish you all the abundance that you are open and ready to receive. And so it is. Bye.